You will notice that there is a slight side lean to the torso here when performing the movement, and that's basically just to allow a bit more freedom so that the dumbbell doesn't hit our thigh or hit our side when we're doing the curl motion. When doing this version as well, we're kind of combining a few different components of our bicep. We're not just trying to purely isolate it. If we want to really isolate the bicep and truly train it in the most effective way, then doing a standing dumbbell curl is not going to be the way we do that. We want to try and focus on a movement that has a bit more of a stretch sensation or a bit more of a squeeze component. So most commonly when we do this exercise, it's either to finish off a workout or it's to apply some pre-fatigue for other bicep related movements to be more effective. With this movement, we can typically lift more weight than other isolated versions. So say, for example, we're doing an incline bicep curl where we're leaning back and we're keeping our elbows really strict behind us. When we do that version, that's a lot more isolated. When we do this version, we're thinking about maybe lifting a little bit more weight, and as a result of that being potentially a tiny bit more lax with the form and not being so strict with making sure that the elbow stays really far backwards. However, if we isolate the movement into two separate stages, we can kind of get the most bang for our buck. So initially, if we keep our elbows still, the bicep will do the work to get to this point here, and then just to encourage a shorter range of motion and then more of a squeeze into the bicep, if we allow the elbow to come forward a tiny bit, that will make the front delt musculature contract a little bit. And a simple relationship within musculature is, if I contract this musculature here and I contract my forearm musculature really hard, my bicep will be able to contract a little bit harder. And so as a result of that, by pulling your forearm close towards your bicep, and then contracting your shoulder musculature and your pec musculature, the theory is that you're providing a little bit of extra stimulus to the area, and as a result of that, the bicep can kind of reap some of that extra reward and be able to contract a little bit harder. And if we were being true to bodybuilding, we probably wouldn't choose this exercise in the way that I'm performing it here to make it the most effective way to do it. However, from a time-based component, from a component of using it in conjunction with other exercises, it can be a great addition to your bicep training as long as you don't allow these slight movement malfunctions to increase the amount of weight that you lift too much and as a result put excess stress onto your elbow joint and onto your shoulder joint.